We've almost got through February here, so we got a lot of catching up to do. But one of the things I wanted to mention before we get started was some really good news that I don't think anybody saw coming. You and I haven't talked about it yet. That for the first time in history, Paul's managed to adopt all their animals.
That was a red letter day for Anderson County and a red letter day for the staff at Paul's. They have done a remarkable job. Now, we actually had a day when everything was perfect. Everybody had a home, all the doors were open, and it was wonderful. Now, we knew it wasn't going to stay like that, but for one day, the shelter was cleared out, and we were overjoyed, and those people deserve so much credit for their hard work and determination and genuine love for those animals. So we're just proud of everybody at Paws, and we always are, but that was great.
Well, you're an animal lover and you've got a bunch of pets. Did you see this coming?
I always had a dream, but Dr. Sanders, Randy Lee, Brandy, all the ladies and men down there working hard together, they made it happen. And to come from a thing when we used to have 400 animals in that shelter, and what happened to them and what was going on and some of the practices that this council found when they came in, it is night and day. And now we are a model for the Southeast, and we provide assistance and how-to for a lot of area shelters. People say, well, how did y'all do that? And we go in and try to help them do the same thing, especially neighboring counties. But that's been a very great success story for Anderson County. I also like to thank a lot of people in Anderson County and some big donors who don't want their names mentioned, that they've given us a lot of money for the new dog park that we have under construction. And we opened bids on that last week, and we're a little short, so we're trying to find a way to come up with that so we can complete the dog park out at Paws, which will serve as a park, just a regular park, but also a place where we can exercise the animals, but also a place where you can come out and visit with the animals before you adopt and or foster.
And so in less than 10 years, we've gone from an old building with not doing well to a new building and maybe a dog park and getting ready to get.
Come a long way in 10 years, and also am happy to say that the old animal shelter has been completely demolished and it's now on the ground.
A lot of other stuff we still need to catch up with for February. Anderson County posted one of the top industries in both investment dollars and new jobs in South Carolina in 2020. So TTI has been here how long now?
In this form, I guess maybe about 7 or 8 years in this form. But
did you envision they would expand at this pace?
No, I did not. And we were involved in the negotiations when they were deciding between Charlotte, Atlanta, or staying here. And we knew it was big. We knew it was real big. We didn't know it was gigantic and tremendous and was going to continue to grow. Even right now, they're growing. So again, as I often say, if you're looking for work, don't get too close to the TTI building because you will get a job.
And they still got a lot of land out there to expand to
They
continue.
have a lot of land, and they're also interested in other land, and there are a lot of exciting things going out there. I can tell you right now that they need 150 engineers right now, and I know that they need lots of people to assemble and to put products together, and that's right now. And so all that bodes well for Anderson County.
Well, just talking about that, in December, and I think it's seasonal, but we had a slight uptick in unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
The county had that drive-through job market a couple of weeks ago, had another 200 show up for that. So people are still looking for work. Do you think, are there enough jobs for the people who are unemployed?
There are more than enough jobs for people who are unemployed. There may not be the ideal job that they want, and one of the things that troubles us and bothers us deeply is we know that there are a lot of jobs out there, but we also know there are a lot of people who don't know that there are jobs out there, and we also know that there are a lot of people who would go to work if they had a way to go to work. And we have expanded the bus route, the county council has, down to Belton and Honeypath. We've looked at running and extending it further. But the problem with buses is they usually run here in set times. But if you're looking to start your career on the second shift, or you prefer a second shift, or you're looking for the third shift. So we have two things going on right now. We're looking at what you call point-to-point contact, where they will actually pick you up from your door and carry you to work and then carry you back. Now, you're going to have to pay a little something for it, but if you had a car, you were going to pay a little something for it. And we're looking to see if we can put that. We've contacted Uber. they're very interested in, and I'm not saying that's going to happen. And we've also contacted some local groups who are interested in doing that from a religious perspective, and they're working hard on that, and we can assist them in a pilot project. We want to do that. But I believe if we whip that transportation burden, there wouldn't be anybody without a job. I really believe that. Now, are all these jobs sitting at a desk and doing stuff like that? No. But, and I've said this on your program before, I mean, now's the time to get with these companies. Get in on the bottom floor. As they expand, you're going to expand if you work hard.
On that transportation point, we've talked about it before. Is there an estimate on how soon that pilot program could begin? Or?
I'm hoping maybe in 2 months. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting upstairs today about it. So we're looking to see if they need the pump primed in any way, shape, or form. And it would be a small program. It would be targeted in the Homeland Park area, but we want to be supportive of it. These people came up with this idea, and we want to support that and help them be successful. At the same time, trying to figure out how we can do this point-to-point transportation through some method. Do you want to give us $1 zillion for buses? Hey, if we got a better idea, why don't you let us contract with the private sector to provide this transportation? We don't maintain the equipment. We don't do anything. You're making money while you're carrying people point to point, and everybody comes out ahead.
And talking about coming out ahead, are we close on any other big economic development announcements?
Yeah, we still have two under wraps, and now we have 3 big ones under wraps. We announced one, and I don't understand how that slipped under the radar, but First Quality added a whole nother tissue line, another $250 million investment, and another 60 jobs. So as we were the toilet paper of the capital, we're the toilet paper of the capital plus 2 now. So we have 6 lines running out there, and I mean, that's incredible. You know, in some places, if you announce 60 jobs and $250 million investment, it would be front page news, but that's good, and we're happy that they're continuing to grow in Anderson County.
A lot of people keep talking about businesses they would like to see here in Anderson. You hear Costco and Lidl and various other things. Is anything coming here people might want to know about that you've heard? Any rumors, any news?
I know that we have a lot of exciting things, but I also know that those places go where the demographics tell them to go. They don't go to an area and say, boy, I got a good idea. This looks like it would be good. They do extensive research, especially Costco. And what's it based on? It's based on traffic and income levels and density. Those are the things they look for. And we're achieving those things. Some people like it, some people don't, but we're getting there to get those things. Right now, we're in Aldi town. Greenwood, primarily a legal town. And you know it's same family. Don't know whether they talk to each other, but it's the same family. Yeah. So yes, we have some exciting things on the grocery horizon coming up.
You told me that one of the biggest issues for large companies coming here is quality of life. Anderson University is now one of the largest private university in the state. Does that continue to be an important piece of the puzzle when they look at stuff like that?
I can tell you, it's a huge piece of the puzzle. We had a meeting with a very large company here in Anderson, South Carolina, who needs engineers. Anderson University is starting their applied engineering program. It is a hand-in-glove fit. I think that since we arranged that meeting, and all we were marriage brokers, that I think they've fallen in love, and we expect great things to come from that applied engineering degree. And I think that's going to be a big success, not only for Anderson University, but for Anderson County as a whole. So we're really excited about that. But, you know, they're a large private institution. There are a lot of people who come here to go to Anderson University who aren't from here. And a lot of those people who come here who aren't from here stay here and provide many valuable skills. I can tell you down in our IT department, we are overrun with Anderson University interns and Anderson University graduates, and they are just absolutely wonderful. And just about every intern that we've had some Anderson University connection, and we've been pleased with every last one of them. So that's a relationship we cultivate and nurture.
And somebody had the foresight somewhere to put us halfway between Atlanta and Charlotte. That was a good decision.
Boy, that was a genius. I'm going to go back to Wilton E. Hall. Hey, you're not going to run that interstate somewhere else. You're going to put it right here near Anderson.
And I guess that continues to be the magnet. They can see where we are and and drawing.
I met with developers this morning, and most exciting news are the new developments that are going to be occurring in Pelzer and the new developments in Pelzer and stretching down into Williamston. So, as County Council has stated, it's going to be coming down that river, and we're actually seeing that. I mean, West Pelzer, Mayor Blake Sanders, 91 new houses in West Pelzer, and he's got more coming. Will Garland over in Pelzer, he's got new things coming over there on the Old Mill property. So the growth is beginning to spread out across the county, which we wanted.
And you mentioned the river, that the Dolly Cooper Park is getting ready to announce their plans, or at least proposed plans for expansion and all. What will that mean to that area?
I think it's going to draw more people to that area because, as you know, we're trying to make it a sports and nature park. And I think that river, just like Matt Shell, who works here as our park manager, first raised that ballyhoo, that the river is economic development.
You mentioned that because West Pelzer Mayor Blake Sanders and Councilman Jimmy Davis and South Carolina Representative Wes Cox are working on that. And they're getting ready to release the plans to get public feedback, and that should be coming pretty soon, right?
That should be coming pretty soon to master plan on the development of the Dolly Cooper Park, yes.
And of course, now we're talking about water. The lake has always been, one of the things since, at least over the last decade or something, y'all have said it's been the untouched, untapped.
Undiscovered jewel.
There we go, undiscovered jewel. That's what I was going to call it a gem, but that jewel's better. Let's talk about changes that are going on at Green Pond first, and what's going on out there.
Well, getting ready for the amphitheater, as I have been telling people for some time, and it's actually getting closer. You can actually begin to see where it's going. So we're getting close on that. We've got a new road that we've cut in there, and we've got some other improvements going in there. So that's just a project that continues a little bit here, and we do it primarily when we get grant money, and we've been so blessed by the Department of Natural Resources and their assistance in Green Pond and the help we receive from the Corps of Engineers to make that. And I think next year is going to be gangbusters in fishing tournaments. I already know that it's going to be probably our best year, and our accommodations tax pretty much has been relying on the fishing industry to keep us going, because as we've said before, when people come in for a mega tournament, they don't come here the day of that tournament. They may come a month before, stay 3 or 4 days, then come 2 weeks before and fish that tournament, after they've practiced. So there's a constant thing, and even our hotels realize that. So they're making accommodations for boaters, meant people to bring their boats, and places for them to plug it in, and places for it to be secure. And a lot of people are renting houses, Airbnb and things like that. So it's having a real great effect on our economy.
And several people ask me, why do we need more docks? Explain why the more docks will add to that effect on the economy.
Well, you have more docks, we're going to be able to hold larger tournaments. And also, which I always want to tell people about Green Pond, it is not just for fishing. You can go to Green Pond any day. You don't even have to fish. You can hate to fish. You can sit up on that big hill and just look at the lake, or you can walk on those roads. Of course, you'll be in Olympic shape after you walk up and down those hills over there. I mean, all of that's out there, and it doesn't cost anything. There's no admittance. So if you want to go out to the lake and enjoy it, go there. And lots of people just go out there, they come to Green Pond by boat because they just like to hang around there.
And recreation seems to also remain near the top, especially as the weather begins to get better. Civic Center keeps at it. They added the pickleball courts. Disc golf, you mentioned that at Dolly Cooper's disc golf there. There's a disc golf planned at Green Pond too, correct?
Yes.
I
mean, people say, well, who does disc golf? A whole lot of people do disc golf. More people than you would imagine, and more people play pickleball than you can imagine. So all of that's going on. Right now we're trying to get some more work done at Kid Venture, and we were hammered, us and the city, because the drop in accommodations tax and hospitality tax. There was a meeting on that yesterday. What I'm hoping that we can do is cobble together enough money to put a bathroom at Kid Venture, and I think pulling some from here and pulling some from there, and the city and county working together, we can get that done. But I really want that to be completed, and it gets a tremendous amount of use, and I know those bathrooms will come in very handy.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about that. The renovations out there are really expensive.
Yeah, well, you want to do it right. You want to make it handicapped accessible, and we have the plan, and we know what we want to do, but we just got to do it right. And I'm hoping that as COVID goes by, accommodations tax picks up, and we can get moving faster.
Is there like a long-term plan, like 2 years, or we just don't know, just when the money comes in? Is that?
When the money comes in, but I want to see if we can't cobble together enough money for those bathrooms now. That's about a $250,000 item. And we're looking at ways again to get some money here, get some money there, and get some money there to put that together.
And speaking of the Civic Center, the county has expanded its work in rolling out COVID-19 testing and vaccination out of the Civic Center.
ANMED has been using that. We have a wonderful partnership with ANMED in giving out vaccines. I think as of this morning, ANMED had vaccinated around 15,000. I think they want to do 4,000 this week. And DHEC has done some, but not anywhere near that number. And I think right now, just from what the information we've put together, in a county of, we're still using a population of 204,000, we've had about 30,000 vaccinated, and maybe by the end of this week we'll have 34 or 35. So we're making a dent. But yes, we partnered with ANMED. They've been wonderful. Everybody has enjoyed that experience out there because there's enough room to go out there, get your shot, sit down. The people, our staff is always beyond courteous, and ANMED staff is beyond courteous. And so people have just been calling us up and saying, this was great. They also asked us, will we take over the United States and administer it for the country? We told them we just handle this right now.
Well, and with the restrictions on it, those numbers could be even more if they could. Anybody wanted one could go get it.
If anybody wanted one, but it's the vaccine shortages. It's not ANMED. ANMED be popping you in the arm all day long. It's getting the vaccines here.
Yeah, it's. I think Ingles got most of them. From what else about the Civic Center during we talked about this a little bit before, during this past year, and it's not been business as usual.
No.
What else is anything going on at the Civic Center that people need to know about?
Well, we had a company that came in and manufactured products for the airport, Air Force, excuse me. So while we couldn't do that, we were able to help a local company fulfill an Air Force contract, and they were very happy about that. And we're using it for vaccines. We've used it for training. We've done a whole lot with that Civic Center. We've also had it ready to go in case of bad weather, as we always do. And we've also been able to do some sprucing up and patching up of things out there. So, while the public wasn't there, there was something going on there just about every day.
Is there any update on the Duke Power generator that's going to be?
That's still probably about 9 months away. And that is the slowest generator in the history of the United States of America, because we did everything needed to do 18 months ago.
Right. We've been talking about this forever. That's why I made a note.
But it's not on us. We're ready.
Right. We've said do it. They just.
Yeah.
But they're the ones.
It's on you now.
All right. I know that we've talked about the budget before. State and federal dollars still helping offset some of the losses from the pandemic for the county?
Just directly related to the pandemic, but not some of the other costs that go with it. And so, it doesn't cover the full ride. We're appreciative of what we got, but it doesn't cover everything.
Well, I know the new budget process is already underway. It started.
We're already beginning to talk about that. Yes, we are.
How will this affect that? Do we know yet?
Well, we're still waiting to see exactly how revenue's coming in. We know even during the pandemic that our building permits still skyrocketed. And we know the cost of lumber is very, very high right now. But I think because the interest rates are so low at the banks, you can say, well, I can wait for lumber prices to come down, but then the interest rates will go up. So, it's gangbusters. I talked to people today who have plans in Pelzer, West Pelzer, in those areas for hundreds of houses and nice houses. And we also had a meeting with council members today on houses in the southern part of Anderson, which makes us feel so good. So we're happy about that. And so that rising tide's beginning to work. It's just taken a while.
So far we've made it through February, that extreme cold we always worry about. If we can get through spring, is that going to continue to help us catch up on road maintenance?
It will, but bad weather kills roads. And we haven't had that worst thing, but we're not out of the woods yet. I've seen March hammer, and if they can have what they had in Texas, I'll wait for the birds to sing and the flowers to bloom before I call anything off.
And we've talked about this, and I sent you something that in 1861 the county had a road tax on a 1-horse wagon, a 2-horse wagon, a 3 and a 4-horse wagon.
Yep.
Will that be considered again, or we just don't know yet?
We really haven't. Councils, they naturally get all of our revenue prognostications and things like that. But we'll really get on it in earnest next week. I mean, we're on it every day. We monitor the money every day, but start engaging and getting more information and finding out what the revenue stream is, what's this, what's that. So we'll get serious. And I think our council's goal this year is to have the budget tied up nice and early.
We'll talk a little bit about sewer and water. I know Rewa, I did a story on Rewa. They said that the customers in Piedmont aren't going to pay anything more, at least until summer 2022.
That's exactly right.
And so there's
So
just going to be
the
a
thing
slow
that they were-
transition.
It was going to be a slow transition, and so, you know, they said they're going to raise rates, not on the people in Piedmont.
Right, and that kind of leads to the one we always talk about, the Pendleton Sewer Project.
Yeah, due to illness and several things like that, but I think Clemson, Pendleton, and Anderson are all of one accord. I just got to nail some things down, and I think that we're very close. We've secured most of the right-of-way to exit 14. We still have some things to do there, so we're happy about that. And the Liberty Highway project, that's coming along very well, so we're happy about that project. And have a lot of future projects and taking care of a lot of industry and things like that. So sewer's going well. Don't have any complaints or any problems with that.
What about the latest on the Courthouse Square property?
Courthouse Square property, we're still waiting. We're still not exactly where we want to be, and we're in no hurry. But I am happy to report that somebody's purchased the Lakeside Shopping Center, and they're going to do a big refurbishment over there. And I think that's going to be good for the 28 bypass area. And that spurred that because some of the same people are involved in that.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask you where
I
we
didn't,
jumped.
I didn't come from there to there.
That's a long path, yeah.
Yeah.
Could we just plant grass on there? I mean, is it?
And that may come to that where we plant grass on there and see what happens. But I'm not going to make a $20 million mistake that's going to be there for 100 years.
And the people that bought the Lakeside Shopping Center are not ready to announce yet who they are? So.
No, but I don't think they have. They probably will next week. But they have some very ambitious plans. We've been working on that. And I know that they've already got a lot of renovations in mind and planning. So I think that's real good.
What about the walking track that was going to connect the ANMED track to the East-West Parkway to the Civic Center?
That is a ANAT's project, and I think they are securing right away, and I don't think that's been slowed down very much, but that can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, that would be a huge benefit not only to those communities but to Midway Elementary School and.
It'd be a huge benefit to everybody in Anderson.
Yeah, have they said anything to you about where that is in terms of next year or when they're going to start?
I think that they actually may start doing something next year. That's what I've been led to believe.
Okay, well, yeah, that'll be that walking track. I think is going to connect Anderson in ways that if the city does their deal to go down to Lindley Park or something, you really can walk all over town then.
And I think that will be great. And I think we will finally be a pedestrian-friendly city. I think that's wonderful. And I think we'll greatly improve the quality of life. I really do.
County Council's planning to resume evening meetings in March finally.
March 2nd, 6 o'clock at the
Right.
Civic Center.
Why did we go at noon for so long?
Trying to dodge COVID as much as possible is the very
Keep the numbers
reason.
down.
Keep the numbers down. That's the very reason. I mean, you know, they didn't want to do Zoom, and I don't blame them because that's an artificial feel, and you lose a whole lot when you do it. It's better than nothing, but not much better than nothing. And so at least we were in person. If you had a burning issue, you could come. It was at lunchtime. But March the 2nd, we go back to night meetings.
And this is a simple thing, but so many people don't know it. If they want to see the agenda, it's posted the Friday before the meeting.
Friday
Plenty of
before
time.
the
The
meeting.
whole packet is.
Every bit of it.
So no need to print something out. You can just look it
You
up.
can look it at. You can print what you want. It's all right there.
What else is going on I haven't asked you this month?
The big thing that I'm very excited about, the county's received $6.1 million, and we're going to be using that for rental assistance. And we're going to be working with AIM, and AIM's going to be doing the applications and helping us. They're going to be doing the lion's share of the work, and I think it's going to be a wonderful partnership between Anderson County and AIM, and we want to make sure, and AIM does too, to make sure that we're all over the county. All over the county, not just here in Anderson, but they've already got a place in Honeypath, and I know they're working in other places to do it. So everybody who needs rental assistance, and a lot of people are impacted. And we're hoping maybe early March that we can do that, and we're very excited about that. Council very excited that we're going to be able to help these people. So that's one of the big things going. It's another instance of the county council partnering with AIM, but you know we already have a partnership with Meals on Wheels when we can reopen our feeding program that we do on site around the county. So these partnerships make a lot of things happen that we couldn't do alone.
Do they to find out about the rental assistance, do they call the county or AIM?
AIM's going to be the focal point, and they're probably about 2 weeks before they're ready to really get up and running. But we're going to be putting out some information, or rather AIM is, to let people know how, when, and where.
And the county continues to provide updates on where vaccines are available and where testing is available. Remind people where that is.
We can do that at the Anderson County Emergency website, and you can go there just every day and really find out all kinds of good information about all kinds of different things. You can go to the county website, and there are many different places you can find that information just by going to Anderson County and click on one of our departments.
And we're optimistic that we're maybe turning a corner here before summer.
I'm optimistic because I'm seeing the numbers coming directly from sources, not compilations, not projections, but actual numbers. So I'm feeling really good. Are we out of the woods? No. Do we need to continue to wear a mask? Yes. Do we need to wash our hands? Yes. Do we maintain social distancing? Yes. Because I think maybe by April, and I know some people are saying late summer, but I've always been an optimist, that we can get back to some sense of normalcy.
And can we do some county wash your hands posters even after all this is gone, just so people remember?
I think I'm going to get some of those old World War II posters that said loose lips sink ships and readapt it to washing your hands.